Welcome to the latest episode of Making Sense.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Episode 3. We're ready to get started. This is Teresa,
Erica,
and this is Keelan.
And today we're going to be making sense of goal setting. Woo!
The most important part, I feel like.
I swear.
What's the face, Keelan?
Oh, no, I'm here for it.
You're here for it?
I just hate the process of making goals.
Okay, why?
They're important, but...
Yeah, they're important, but like, sometimes it's just like, why do I have to go through all this just to figure out what I want to do in my life? Like, I should know what I'm wanting to do. That's exactly how I think.
That's exactly how you
That's exactly. I'm for real. That's exactly how I think
I don't know.
about
I
goals.
feel like your brain is too, like, there's so much going on in there that it's hard to do a specific goal.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, it's like a big like ball of wires.
Yeah.
Where you're
Yeah,
trying to,
and like you have to think too much, and then like there are certain steps.
Well, I feel like with goals, you get to take what all is in your head and like get it on paper or get it out. So that way, it's like in a way that you're like, okay, this is the next step. This is the next step. This is the next step. But I guess I can understand because if you're like constantly like, this is the next step. This is kind of robotic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also like,
yeah, but
I don't know. I think for me, I just love goals just because I love after I've attained that goal. Obtained.
Obtain.
How do I say the word?
attain.
I said
What?
obtain.
How do I speak?
See, we. Oh my God, we all went to
They
college
let
and
us
we
have
don't
a
know.
podcast.
They let us have.
I graduated college, I promise. But after I get to that goal, then I just feel so accomplished, and I'm like, yes, you did it.
I think the work of getting to the goal is what turns me off of the goal to where I don't want to do the goal.
I
but
feel
like
that.
getting to the actual end result of the goal is what I just want to be like, this is my goal. Oop, I got it there. Like I'm done.
So you want a short reward.
I want instantaneous gratification.
Well, that's not how life
That's
works.
not how
I
that
hate
works
to-
at
Sure.
all.
I don't want to be the breaker. Bear.
Bear, oh my
Can I
God.
speak
We are
for
having
that?
some
I don't think
issues.
so.
Technical difficulties.
Let me start over.
In our voices.
No, but okay. So what would be an example? I know, Keelan, you're talking about you just want to get to the goal or
Yeah.
it's just too many tasks. What would be an example of something that you're working on that it seems like it's just so many goals that you're setting?
Well, I didn't say there were a lot of goals I was setting. But
So you're not actually working on goals.
I am working on goals. I mean, we can say that our New Year's resolutions, the ones we did in episode 1, make sure, y'all listen to these past few episodes. But anyway, I think the process of saying no is a goal. I mean, which I feel like I've succeeded because I've been telling people no a lot. But also another goal that I have is just for me, since I'm a teacher and stuff like that, I want to be more organized for my students and stuff like that. So just the process of taking on like everything 160 students that I have and then just trying to be organized with
Bless
each
you.
one of
The
them. And
students.
Bless
Yeah,
all the
thank
teachers
you.
in the world.
thank you. We appreciate that. But just being organized with all of that, that's a goal for me. And so like, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing all the right things so that I can be organized with my kids and for my own sanity, especially having 160 of them.
That's a
I like
lot
that.
of kids.
I know. I don't
No,
know.
I can't.
Bless you.
I know.
I think one goal I see like seriously in the future is like finishing my master's,
Yeah.
getting that degree, being
Oh.
done. And I'm gonna be honest, the work right now, I want to die sometimes. So like this is ridiculous. So I'm so
Why'd you
busy.
say it?
I know it's just so stressful. So I don't know why they gotta make college so hard. But
Listen, I gotta.
see, you're doing your
Round
master's
two.
too. Yeah, it's like so that would be like the ultimate goal I'm seeing like in my future is I'm going to be done with my master's and then further my career.
Yes. And like it's so crazy. So you're like talking about your masters, and I was just thinking in my head, like every time you set like a big goal like the master, it's like all these smaller little goals that come to get to the master
Why'd
that
you
you have
say
to
it?
set.
Like finishing the first class.
Getting the assignment turned in by
Yeah.
midnight on Sunday.
Crying because
time.
you're not going to get that assignment finished.
I'll tell you, I already told you guys about the one day Jacob was like, if you just write the paper, tears. I can't. He's like, just put words on the page.
That's me. I'm such a procrastinator. I will literally wait until Sunday to write the whole paper, and I'm like, it's fine.
can't do that.
It's fine.
Oh, I can't either.
I can't do that.
See, I do it really well. I do my best work under pressure, I think.
I think now, like, we're at a time that we can say this stuff now. Like
Yeah.
when we were in undergrad, well, I had graduated, but Teresa, you were working on your degree. This was a
Story. This is story time right here because
Teresa
Keelan
was working.
saved me.
Teresa was working on her degree, and your goal, because we're talking about goals, your goal was to just simply finish your internship paper. Okay, it had to be 5 pages. It was due at 11:59 that night. Teresa calls me and asks me to come to where she was. She was in a classroom working. And she just simply asked me to help her.
I'm so embarrassed.
And I'm thinking like, okay, Teresa, like when is it due? She's like, it's due tonight. I'm thinking, okay, she probably just wants me to, because I'm a grammar Nazi, so I'll just probably go through and edit a couple of things. Teresa had to turn in 5 pages. Double space. Teresa did not have a single word
my
written on the page. And it is 10:30 at night.
She had to do 5 pages in an hour and a half.
She had to do 5 pages. I had to do 5 pages about an internship
You didn't even do
that I wasn't even there for the
Oh,
internship.
my
But
gosh.
she sat there and told me about her experience, and I just formulated the words for her. But that was
So she wrote it. You just typed
I
it.
typed
Yes.
it.
And that is because I
And
cannot
ad-libbed.
procrastinate.
You did hit that day.
I shut down immediately. Immediate signs of just stress,
And
anxiety.
tears just streamed down her
And I'm
face.
talking tears, snot. You cry real hard.
It
Yes.
was
Y'all
It was-
remember when we helped Ty with her Ed TPA?
Now that was
that was-
that was stressful.
that was a
I feel like-
project.
I didn't even know anything about video editing, and I was like Googling how do I edit a video so I could help her.
So-
and we all
Yes.
said we were going to stay up late with her, and I
definitely-
fell asleep in like
I definitely
2
think
minutes.
that goals, like, we have to set goals now, especially with us.
Oh, yeah.
All of us in grad school.
Yes.
You know, y'all working on your
Yeah.
masters. I mean, I'm glad that I got past that stage for our masters, but
Yeah.
this PhD is kicking me.
I found that out like in the job because I'm back in housing as like an area coordinator. So you guys know the struggle. You have to
we
like
know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You have to have an on call night. Well, now we have like a week where we're on call and anything can happen. And if I wait and I don't like set out like specific, like this is what I'm going to be doing, this is how I need to reach it, I need to get this paper done, and I get a phone call and it's like you have to go do a drug search or there's some like emotional crisis. Some of those things can take from 1 to 4 to 5 hours just to get through.
Right.
And then that's the whole entire time that you could have been working on something. So I found for me, like, especially when I started my master's program back up, I needed to have like stuff set in place or I was going to be, how Keelan tells you, in a broken hot mess, crying, sobbing,
Yeah.
nose running, and then just shutting down and giving up.
By the way, since we talked about housing, shout out to, well, Teresa, she works there now, but she's elevated,
Yes.
management. But shout out, because all of us, that's actually how we all met in
Yes.
the Office of Housing, Residence Life, and Dining Services at Austin Peay State University. I said the full name. Shout out to our former bosses, Kim
Yes.
Morrow. Well, they're still your bosses, but
Still my
me and
boss.
Erica's former bosses, Kim Morrow, Joe Mills, and to everybody else that works there, Dr. Obi, we miss you.
We do. And
we
you
do.
taught us such good things. Can I
Yeah.
tell you, the stuff I learned in housing, I'm still using now.
For real.
Especially when we learned about SMART goals.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God. To
Keelan
be
did such a
specific,
good job.
I had to teach that PowerPoint.
Can you just tell us again? For all the listeners,
For
you
all
know.
the listeners out there, teaching SMART goals is, you think it's easy to teach someone to make a goal. It is not, especially when they're in college
Yeah.
and they're training to be RAs. And, I used to not only RAs do it, but I made y'all as hall directors do it, CPDs. Y'all had to do it as well. So, for those of you that don't know, SMART goal is to be specific, to be measurable, for it to be achievable or attainable, for it to be relevant or realistic, and for it to be timely. Okay.
Yes.
So specific, with any goal that we have, we know that we have to be specific. This is what I want to do. This is the goal. Like
Right.
Yes.
X, Y, and Z. Okay. For it to be measurable, there has to be moments to where we can take that specific goal that we have and make sure that by this date I've hit this. By this next date I've hit this. And then by this date I should see this amount of improvement or whatever.
So, like, be able to measure the success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So for it to be attainable, it has to be something realistic. my goal should not be that by January 31st, 2020. Is there a 31st?
You're the teacher.
History teacher. I want to be on the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to be realistic about what we want. So by January 2020, I hope to have lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. So attainable, realistic, and then for it to be timely. You need to actually have a date by not just a month, but have a month and have a date, okay, of when you want to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
So teaching that presentation over and over, and then I still use it today with my high school seniors that I teach. Goals are important. So before you come into my class at the beginning of a semester, we make a goal for ourselves for the entire semester, and it has to be something achievable. Not that I want to make an A in your class, because truth is, I'm pretty tough. So
I feel like I couldn't be your student.
why?
Tears.
You would stress me out. I'd be like, Mr. Dunnigan wants me to write a 50-page paper.
No, I don't do anything.
I just want an A.
You remember in college, I would pressure the professors. Anytime they would mark one answer wrong, I'd be like, I need an A in this class. I need you to tell me everything about this one question.
And
that was her goal.
For my high schools, I don't do that.
Yes.
But like for my kids, I'd be like, not that you just want an A, but what type of A do you want? I mean, do I settle for that?
Plus.
Do you settle for that A minus? Like as long as I get to what's that A? 93.
Oh,
so as long as you get, we're thinking
college.
about college. Yeah, 93. Yeah, tough times. How do I get to that 93? But other than that, it's about being realistic and smart with your goals. Look how I did that. We're making sense of our goals. Ooh.
How come you can use the pun, but I can't?
Because I do it better.
Okay, so anyways, so what is it? I know you talked a little bit about the realistic. What would be? How do you know when your goal is unrealistic? Because sometimes you're looking and you see, for example, how to lose. You see these videos, how to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, or how to get to the moon in a month. So how do you know when your goal is unrealistic? And then if it is unrealistic, how do you navigate to get it to a realistic point?
The one thing I would say is you have to analyze yourself, and you have to see if the goal is unrealistic for you. Because, like, a goal you might have or Keelan might have, that might be unrealistic for me. Like, that's not something I could ever do or feel like I could do in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So I think you need to look at yourself and decide, is this goal a realistic, obtainable goal for me personally? Because I think we all scroll through Facebook, we all scroll through whatever, Twitter, and we see all these other people's goals, and we're like, oh, I want to do that.
Yes.
But then it's like, well, can I actually do that? I'm trying to think of a for example.
Okay, that's what I was
There
about
you
to. Like for example, I think that for some people, let's talk about vacations. Everyone sees when people go on these fabulous vacations. They're in different continents and stuff like that, different countries, just really just
Nobody
living
cares about
life.
your fun.
The super
Barbara.
Betty, but they're out in this crystal blue water and the Fiji Islands or whatever, and they're living life to the fullest because they've done a couple things. Either they saved for it or, and for some of us, it's not that realistic. Like, I mean, Erica, you're about to have to pay for a wedding.
I know.
Because Erica's about to get married, everybody. But,
I'm
and
excited but stressed.
It might not be as realistic for you to go on this super extravagant vacation because right now you know that your wedding is a top priority and it's what you want to happen. And you have a vision for it and you want that vision to come true, which might take funds, some money, the coins.
I didn't realize how much weddings cost until I started.
I ain't getting married. Okay? I ain't got to worry about that. So maybe I can just, use my savings account it might be more realistic for me to go, because I don't have a wedding to pay for or anything right now than it is for you to go. Does that kind of make sense?
So it'd be easier for you to go on a vacation and do stuff.
Not to say that she can't, but
it would be
if we're
smarter.
talking, smarter
For me to save for a wedding versus save.
Not that it wouldn't necessarily be unrealistic for her to do so, but it would be pretty damaging if.
I know. I have to decide: do I want to feed people at my wedding, or do I want to go?
Yeah, do you want to have
Fiji?
bagels and cheese
I'm not
and things like
coming if
that.
there's no food.
Or-
Oh yeah.
Like bagels and cheese